Hi.
Hello, how are you guys?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. You ready for Christmas? You got your decks in the background?
Yeah, well, not totally, but nearly there, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. So this is you're my last clients that I'm seeing until the new year now.
Oh, wow, okay.
This seems a bit strange. So talk to me, tell me how you've been getting on.
Yeah, not so bad. So, I mean, I know I reached out to you about him sleeping in the crate. So he is sleeping in the crate now, but I have put it in my bedroom,
Okay.
because I was sleeping on the couch every night and it was just a bit uncomfortable. So the crate is in my room, and basically have my little routine of, I carry him up the stairs anyway, because I don't like him running up them. And I carry him up, put him in. Sometimes he cries for a minute and sometimes he doesn't. But I've noticed if I just let him cry for a minute, he'll settle himself.
Okay.
Just the deal is not to look over at him, I guess, while I'm getting myself ready. And then he'll settle down. The odd time he might cry a little in the night. But he's kind of stopped doing that for the most part. And I found if he's not super tired, that's the only time he'll do that. And he almost kind of chances his arm to see if I'll get out, because he knows if he cries, and obviously it's like 7 a.m, I'll get up because I know it's time to get up, and I'll take him out and toilet and all the rest. I know he can hold it because he does a big wee before bed. So in the middle of the night, if I wake up, I always check my phone. I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock, no way. And he'll go back to sleep. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely good from our side. On the weekends, it is maybe naughty. I will let him come in for like half an hour of a morning. Risky business, maybe.
Risky.
So that's the only thing, but that's only like in the morning, and he's definitely come on a lot more. If it is too risky, then I will definitely stop that then.
I maybe would consider waiting until he's completely going through the night, until he's completely settled in his own bed before you then start letting him to your bed, because what you don't want him to do is kind of go, oh, I'm going to wake up because I'm going to get to go in mum's bed.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
and he's still learning, but how are you feeling for actually having sleep?
Yeah, good. The next thing now is to get better sleep because of work, but that's a different story. But yeah, no, definitely happy that he's in his bed at night time, and I'm not kind of like worried if he's kind of wandering around the room and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, you're not really there at night time anyway, so doesn't matter how long you feel.
See you later. I'm off. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't quite hear. We're 2 miles away.
And then on the walking side of things, I mean, it's actually Louis' mom and sister that take him for walks in the week, like during the week. But not if it's quite rainy, he will not go out, which is kind of typical. But he's been better, hasn't he?
Yeah, they say it's very good. I think just because it's early, there's just not too many people. But even like when we take him, like he doesn't. Once he's just, so we got a long line for him. But once you just rein him in and just have him, like he does pull a lot if he's like right next to you, but he doesn't bark once you're sort of like a step ahead of him.
We actually we were walking him the weekend before last, and we were walking and we were kind of like either side of him, and he kept slowing down to make sure that we were both by his side on like either side, which I thought was a really good thing, because he was trying not to like rush ahead of us, if that makes sense, and he was kind of like waiting back, and then he was getting a lot of praise when he was doing that, so I think that's definitely a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. So with him being able to, where he gets praise, he will learn that that's like a default place to be. So with him dropping back, that's a really good sign that he's happy to know where that attention's coming from. Good. It sounds like you've been busy. You've been having some good successes there as well. I'd not heard from you, so I assumed it was all good after the initial crate.
No news is good news.
Yeah, he did have a bit of we weren't able to like do training like every single day because he did have a funny tummy one day. Actually, we had to take him into the vet. He just started vomiting bile out of nowhere. And he did it several times in a row. And really scared me. So we took him in and they just gave him like an anti-nausea and then put him on like very plain diet of this wet food that he absolutely loved. And now it's really hard getting him to just eat his biscuits on its own. But anyway, so we weren't able to give him treats or anything like that for several days. But apart from that, he's been quite good. I didn't get in contact with you, but something happened last weekend. He did go for my mom.
Okay.
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
So essentially had been laying on her lap all day, cuddling her, getting fuss. I came down that evening when I'd finished work. It was last Friday evening, and he was cuddled up next to me on the couch. And my mom got up. She sits on like the other side of the room on another couch, and she got up to go straight to put some coal on the fire. And he got up, and this time he got up and ran, barking really aggressively. And he was showing his teeth, and she just kind of pulled her hand away in time. She said she felt his teeth almost grazed her hand. And we don't know what set him off. He was being very aggressive towards Louis's dad as well, barking. Hasn't gone for him or anything, but very aggressively barking.
Yeah, but that was kind of a weird one because he was every time my dad came into the room, he'd start barking and like chase him, and then he just stopped. He was really bad one day, and then the next few times I just did the same thing with the lead, but inside the house I just had him behind me if dad was coming into the room. I did that maybe twice, and then after that he was just fine. Like he was following dad around doing chores and stuff. He barked at him once when dad had like an axe outside, but I let him off that time because you gotta give him some leeway. But nothing like with Stevie's mom.
And it's just very strange because he's very loving with her and will sit and get all the fuss and want all of her attention. She'll play with him during the day and things like that. And then later that evening, he just turned and so essentially stopped what he was doing, and then I didn't let him lay up on the couch with me. I made him lay over in front of the fire, still a very cozy spot, but not on the couch with me. And that's I guess one of the main things we wanted to discuss with you now, because my brother will be coming home. He'll be the only new person that he's going to be seeing regularly over Christmas. But he'll be coming back on Tuesday. And I know obviously he barks when new people come into the house and yeah.
Okay, so just talk to me a little bit about, so when your mum's got up to go to put the coal on, and is that around about the same time that he had the upset tummy, or is that before or after?
No,
when
it was
that?
A week after.
Ooh, well, that's just gone a funny colour, just gone a bit green on the screen there, I don't know why. I don't know what's happened to my lighting there. Never mind. I think the bulb might be on its way out. So, sorry, was that after, did you say?
Yeah, so he had the upset tummy on the 4th, I believe. And what was last week? The 10th?
4th. Yeah, the 10th, 11th.
So he had the upset tummy on the 4th. And then it was last week, the 11th.
Okay.
I would say around 8 p.m. We were just like, everything was definitely wound down, just watching TV. And just got up out of nowhere and I went over to her. The thing is, I do wonder, like, there is a pattern sometimes of when he's like asleep or he's like sleepy. But also there's other times, as I was saying, he still, sorry, Bertie. He's chewing on a chew I've given him and he's trying to swallow it. Can you get that out of his mouth, Louis? Sorry, I just don't want him to swallow.
Yeah, no, he's his main priority.
Yeah, he thinks it's a game.
Maybe swap him for something if you got something to swap him for.
Sorry, but he still does the very aggressive barking when my mom comes down the stairs, and she'll just have gone upstairs for like 2 minutes, and then she'll come down, and then he's really growling, and just barking. But then we'll come over to her, and then is like wagging his tail and wanting pets from her.
Okay. And has he had the lead on at all where you are? So where mum is, has he had the lead on at all with you?
I haven't put him on the lead. No, actually, no, that's not true. After he went for her, I did put him on the lead. And then I also just put him down. So I left the lead kind of on the floor attached to him. And then I let him lay down. But no, I haven't. If it's a case of like her coming down the stairs, I don't put, if I know, because it's like it's a quick thing, I guess, of her going up and then wanting to come down like you would. So I haven't, no.
Okay. So that may be one thing just to get him used to. So obviously while he's supervised, obviously while there's somebody with him, so either you or Lewis, or anyone else that's with him, having that lead on and just letting that trail around with him, then it gives you more of an opportunity to be able to get to him before he starts doing this unwanted behavior.
Yeah.
So even if, like, obviously mum going up and down the stairs, that's quite a normal thing to do, and having him wearing a lead, that's not unnormal for him, but in the house it may be a little bit like, right, okay. So it may be just as a kind of a safety measure, really, so that he can't overstep that mark. So if he had his lead on and he was laying asleep with you, then as soon as he gets down, you can kind of take the lead, so you've got hold of his lead, so he can't then do the next step. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I was going to ask, is there some kind of, because I feel like there's maybe some correlation here between the fact that he does it when I'm around. Like, is that the case? Like, am I the issue here? Is that why he's doing it? Because he seems to be very loving and friendly to my mom when I'm not here. And even like if I go to Louis' house, sometimes then he'll be kind of barking at his dad a little bit more as well. Have you found that? Like sometimes he is like that. I feel
he did it a lot when you weren't there, but at the time he was worst was when you were there.
Yeah. So he seems to, even though he might do it if I'm not there, he's worse if I am.
Okay, so talk to me about when either your mum or Louis' dad's there, what is your response to him? So he starts barking, and what do you do?
I tell him off.
What do you say?
I say stop it, or I say, Bertie, no.
Okay, and how does he respond to that?
He doesn't listen.
Louis laughing.
He doesn't listen to me.
Well, I had flashbacks to the first session where
or I'm like, because he also has this thing about chasing the cats.
Okay.
And that's a mad sprint to try and catch him so that he doesn't get hurt from the cat and that he doesn't upset the cat too much as well. So if I'm chasing him, I have to shout. Of course, I'm like, Bertie, no! Like, shout.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't. Oh God, goodness me, Bertie! Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
He's got a dog fly across the screen.
Bertie, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's fine. He's just he's full of beans. I swear, it's like the Irish air has made him so happy. But what was I gonna say? But he doesn't listen to me if I tell him off. If I tell him no for doing something, even just say no in a firm voice or stop or whatever, he just doesn't.
Okay, so let's get him listening to you. That would be the first thought. Okay, so when if he's going after the cats and you know he's going to go after the cats, again, that lead is going to be really helpful for you, because then rather than picking him up, you just take the lead.
Okay.
And then he'll soon learn if you're going, come on this way, and then going the other way with him. So he's going away from the cats. So even though he's going to be really excited because they're cats and they're furry and they're exciting and they move really fast. I've got two. When we have cat dog wars, and they're literally like Tasmanian devil between them when they start. It's usually about 6 o'clock, so no doubt they'll start at probably about the next 15-20 minutes. So I feel your pain in terms of that. So, okay, so last time we looked at a bit of eye contact, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How has he been with his eye contact?
He's been okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What about you?
As in like the training, or just
His eye contact.
day to day when he?
A bit of both.
He's really good at the training with the eye contact. Yeah. I think he's always sort of naturally made that eye contact anyway. Like he kind of. I think he's quite good with it.
I think he's good. Like he'll look at me, and he does that. Like I don't know if that's a sausage dog thing where like you can see the whites of his eyes, and he's sometimes if he knows he's doing something naughty, he kind of turns and looks at you like this, and you're like, Bertie,
what are you doing? A size of sausage is a suspicious one.
Yeah, he's very suspicious.
Okay, so what I would look at doing is, so did we do the mat training last time?
No, we did the lead and we did the look.
The lead and the look. So we did loose lead walking and look. Okay, so has he got like a really small, kind of like a towel blanket, little mat, something that he can get to? So something roughly like sort of tea towel size or a little bit smaller, something that you can carry around with you. Yeah, that should be fine.
Smaller here, yeah.
Okay, so before you put it on the floor, what we're going to do is we're just going to, the idea is that we're going to get him to go to a place, and we're going to get him to either sit or lay down in that place and remain there and then keep him there. And I think you mentioned that in fact, just going back slightly, so the previous training that you had, remind me, so you did a settle, didn't you, to a place?
Yeah, and he got really good at it as long as there's treats there. So he'll settle and then he'll go back up again. He'll settle, he'll go like this, and it's just he'll just keep doing that up and down, up and down. Getting him to stay is the thing we have just not been able to master with him.
Okay. So for this, so just briefly tell me how you'd got him to get to the mat in the first place.
Lure him on with treats, and then treat him while he's on there, and then you can say, what do we say, off? Or free. We said free. We say free, and then he'd come off, and then sometimes he'd run back because he'd know he'd get the treats if he went back on, and then we tried to build it up over time, but we hadn't gotten far with the timing side of things.
I never felt like he was actually settled though.
Yeah, he wasn't settled
because he kind of had to. He was like lying down, so we had to like put the treat behind his sort of elbow to get him to like lie in a more relaxed way, but then he just sort of would do the relaxed lie, but he wasn't actually relaxed. Like he was just.
And then he's just getting up.
So he's like ready to go at a moment's notice.
He'll never do, and we've never been able to get him to do like a relaxed down. He just uses his head the moment treats are involved.
He's very good at down.
He's very good. Like, if there's a treat if you don't have a treat in your hand, he's not doing it.
Okay, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do a combination of two things, and this is going to help you for when his leads on, and this will also help you for, did you say your brother's coming on Tuesday? Yeah, so this will help for that as well. So it's kind of it's a safety, it's a settling for Bertie, it's a boundary, so you know exactly where he is and exactly what he's doing, and he's got no option in it. It is his choice. It's his choice to remain there, but what it relies on very much is that when there are other things going off, that you don't pay him attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to introduce the mat really nice and fast, and he's likely that he'll pick straight up on it. If he's had some mat training before, then he'll get this straight away. Did you have a word for him to actually go to the mat? Did you have like a on your mat or settle or anything like that?
Settle.
Just settle. Okay, fine. So you've got settle.
Once he was on there, we never really, it wasn't as though we could tell him to go. It's like we did at the very beginning, we would say to him, go to bed in his crate, and he'd go in, but like there's no chance you can get him to do that. Like that's something we'll do down the line, but I think once we learn this, it'll be helpful. But he'd only go in because he knew there was treats, you know. He's very treat oriented, which is our fault.
No, that's not, it's not at all. So what we're going to look at doing is with the mat that you've got, so what I want you to do is produce the mat. So let me use something here. Let me use a leaflet. So produce the mat, let him just see the mat. As soon as he looks at it, yes, reward him, remove the mat. Okay, so the mat's in your hand.
Okay.
The mat's not going to be on the floor to start with. We're literally just building up his positive association. So we're going to do that about 5 times. And then when you put it behind your back, if he kind of starts looking for it, then that's the time we're going to put it on the floor. Okay, so we're going to do 5 to 6 to start with, and then go to the floor. Okay?
With treats or just yes?
With the treats.
Okay, cool. Has he just done a poo somewhere?
Oh no, go and find it. Make sure he's not pooed in your living room somewhere. Is he just trumped?
It's one of the two. Oh my goodness me, Bertie. That is outrageous. Okay, sorry. He's full of excitement this evening, so I think it's been an interesting training. Okay. Oh, he sees the treats.
Okay, so let's put those treats somewhere that you can't see them, maybe in your pocket, maybe behind your back. Okay. So he's not just reliant on treats. So he knows you've got treats. Mm-hmm. And then go for it. So let him look at the mat.
He's just making very tense eye contact.
Yes.
And what we're doing is we're just making him realise that by looking at the mat, that's what he gets the reward for.
Do you want to do it, Louis? Because I think you've got the idea better than me. You do this first.
Just hold
it was fine. It was fine what you did.
Is it okay? Okay.
Just hold low so he's having to look at the mat, not yours. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. 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 Good boy.
Yes.
Good boy. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
He's looking for like he was. Yeah, so he's checking for the mat there.
Yes. Good boy. Good job.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the mat down. So we're going to set him up to be successful with this. So the mat needs to be big enough. If he does choose to lay down, it needs to be big enough for him to get onto.
Perfect. Okay.
So what I want you to do is when you put it onto the floor, if he pays the mat any attention, so if he looks at it, if he goes over to it, if he sniffs it, you're just literally going to throw a treat onto the mat. So not from your hand, not feeding from your hand, you're just going to drop it onto the mat.
Perfect.
Okay.
Turn the treats in.
So yeah, use about half of it, that should be fine. It's plenty big enough. If you can just budge your camera down slightly.
That's okay. You see that there?
Yep.
Good boy. Oh, good boy.
Okay, so what we're looking for is in that position. So you're just going to say settle in that position.
Settle.
And then reward. Give him a sec. If he sniffs at that mat again, I want you to just say yes, but don't reward him.
Yes.
When he goes back to the mat and sniffs it, say yes.
Yes.
If he gets on the mat, yes.
Yes.
Drop a treat now for him. What we're doing is we're getting him to associate that the mat, so when he's looking down, he gets reward. When he looks up, he doesn't get the reward.
Oh, that's a good
idea. But we want all 4 feet to be on that mat before we say yes or settle.
Okay.
So this is a little game for Bertie to figure out what he needs to do. Is he watching Louis?
Yeah. He's like, come on, Dad, give me something. He's looking at me.
Yep, give him a chance. Let him figure out what it was that he got rewarded for.
Can I look at him?
If you want to look at him, you can do, but he might just try and keep eye contact with you then.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Here we go.
Yes.
Chuck a reward.
Good boy.
Okay, so now you're just going to wait out a little bit longer with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, by not looking at you, was it not looking at you? Was it moving backwards? What was it that got me that reward? Something about this mat.
Yes. Good boy.
Clever sausage.
Clever sausage indeed.
Okay, so you're going to count to 5 in your head, and then when he looks down, reward him. So when he breaks that stare with you, when he looks back at the mat, yes, and drop that reward. The idea is that he's not going to see that reward coming from your hand. Here he goes. Thinking about it.
Good boy. Good. Good.
And what we're doing, we're getting him to choose to stay there. He can get off if he wants.
You know, he's just trying not to look up. Good boy. Good boy.
And then just wait until he's got back in that sitting position before he starts getting those rewards again.
Okay, I just need to get some more action.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Sorry. 1 is not enough. Give him time.
One's never enough.
Sorry?
No, one's never enough.
No, 1's never enough.
Oh.
Oh.
His butt is just off the mat, if you can't see it.
I can't quite see his bum, but here he goes.
Good boy. Yes.
Yeah, true.
I thought.
Wait till he looks down.
Good boy. Yes. Yes.
Really nice timing there as well, Steevie.
Yes. Oops, that came off the mat.
That's okay. Give him chance now. See what he's going to do?
He's off the mat.
I know, I can see. So see if he just comes back and comes and sits back on there for you. Here he comes.
Yes. Yes.
Really nice. Okay, so you're going to do 3 with him now. So wait till he's looking at you. Throw a treat over the other side of the room. So all 4 feet come off that mat. And as they come off, then use your cue word 3.
Okay.
Okay. You might just have to have one more reward there because he's sitting so nicely and not looking at you.
Good boy. Yes.
He's just staring at it now.
You're too smart, Bertie. Free. Good boy. Threw that too far.
It's okay.
Good boy.
Nice. Okay. So give him a reward when he stops looking at you.
Good. Yes.
And chuck him another one when he's just completely not looking at you. So he just finds that it's like, what? This mat is the best thing I've ever seen. The longer I sit still on here, the more treats keep coming out. But I don't know where they're coming from. Are they coming from you? Every time I look away, there seems to be another treat drop down. Okay, so we're going to do another 3 with him. So this time wait until he's off the mat before you use that cue word. Okay.
Okay, so just throw the treat.
Throw the treat, let him see you throw the treat. And when his feet come off there, so all 4 of his feet are off, then say 3.
Free.
That's the one. And when he comes on this time, you're going to say yes and settle when he sits down.
Yes. Settle.
Reward. Nice.
Yes. Do I say settle again?
No, I'd wait. I'd just wait.
Just wait.
Okay, so this time when he looks down, you're just going to You can say settle and then chuck a treat in.
Settle.
Okay, and then do another free for me. So get him off that mat.
Free.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is pop him onto his lead for me. And then we're just going to repeat what we've just done. So give him a treat there because he's just come back and settled on there really nicely.
Yes.
The
The short one's fine because I think it's just for in the house in case
Yeah.
in case you were to, you know, go up to Ash or anything. He knew
Chuck him a treat, Stevie.
Say that again.
Just call him back and point to the mat and then give him a treat.
Bertie. Good. In the side, Louis.
Oh, hang on, I've hung it up in the middle. Hang on. Hang on.
Nice. There's a nice settle on the mat there as well.
Settle.
And then before you clip the lead on him, if you just do a free with him and pick the mat up for a second, then clip him on.
Okay.
He's looking straight up.
Free. Good.
And then pick the mat up.
Good boy.
And the reason we're picking the mat up is so that it becomes a magic mat. Okay, so it only comes out when you want it to come out, and it only comes out when you want him to settle.
Okay.
So we're going to practice it again in a sec. Once he's got his lead on, we'll carry on.
I think we only have the really long one. I can't find this short one at the moment.
Okay, just go for the really long one. That's fine. We can always you can always just use a little bit of it. You don't need to use the whole lot.
So okay.
Just clip it on him. Just clip it onto him, and then he'll.
Okay. I can clip it on him. Come here.
You might end up with a lot of lead around your living room.
That's fine. How do you get this on? With one hand. Oops. Hold on. Oh, it comes to me. There it is. Right.
And just leave it down.
Yep. So if you want to take like the end of it so that he's got enough to kind of move around.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, he's got a good push.
And then what we're going to get you to do is we're just going to get you to change position slightly. Okay, so again with the mat. Sorry, Chip's just moving around behind me. So with the mat, what I want you to do is I want you to grab a seat on the sofa, and I want the mat to be at the side of you. So Bertie is on your right hand side.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're just going to start doing the mat again. So he's going to have enough lead so that he can do free as well, but we're just practicing for the moment. So as much as you want to give him at the minute. If you could just spin your screen round so that I can see you. Thank you. Okay, so when he gets onto the mat, you're going to say settle and then reward him.
Settle.
And we've changed the game because we've moved the position of the mat and we've also moved your position as well. So it may be that we just go back slightly. Sorry, there's that 6 o'clock mayhem in my house. It's 4 minutes past today.
Where's your Rottweiler? That's what they sound like, isn't it?
She certainly does. It's just like it's the crazy half hour with the cats and the dog. Okay, so what we're looking for again, we're looking for any sniffing, not looking at you. We're looking for him to go to his mat. So he's got off his mat now, and the reason he's probably got off is because you're not paying him attention. Okay, so he's obviously looking for attention. He's looking at your treats. He's looking at you both. Say, "Where's my treat? Give me treats." And what you're going to do, you're just going to hold out for a sec. So you can point to the mat if you want to point to the mat. You can encourage him over there, but I don't want you to give him a treat out of your hand, and I don't want him to see you give him that treat. When he goes over to the mat and sniffs it, that's when you're just going to say yes and reward him again. So you're just going back slightly to what we just got him to.
Bertie.
He knows what the treats are.
He knows I've got the treats in the back of my hand.
Okay, you're just going to have to wait him out a little bit then. if he knows that they're there. So what do you want him to do? Do you want him to get off the sofa?
Yes.
Yeah, so pop a treat on the floor and say off or free or down, whichever you want to use.
Down. Oops.
Or fly. And then point towards the mat. Give him an indication of what you actually want him to do. Yes. Drop a treat on.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just going to let him choose what he wants to do here. So if he's just sniffing the mat, we're just going to say yes and reward him. Hello, Maisie. That's you.
Yes. All of his 4 legs aren't on the mat.
Okay.
They are now.
There you go, yes, reward him. And what we're doing is we're just building him up again. So it's a different position. There we go. And then you can say settle if you want to, if you're just happy with him just sitting there. We have to remember that they're really small dogs, so they don't always want to just lay down on the mat because it makes them really, really vulnerable. Sometimes just a sit is just as good as a lay down, really.
Okay. That would explain why he doesn't always lay down as well.
Yeah. So if you're happy with him not looking at you, reward him. Just drop a treat there for him to find.
Yes.
So this time when he looks away from you, I just want you to throw the treat. I don't need to say anything.
Okay.
So now.
Oh,
it's okay. Next time.
No.
And what we're doing here is we're rewarding for what we want. So we want him to be calm. We want him to be chilled out. I mean, look at that sit. That's a great little slouchy sit. He's like, yeah, I'm chilled out here.
Yes.
Oh, can you see on the screen?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm looking there.
Oh, that's good.
So wait till he breaks that stare. When he looks down, that's when you just ignore any barks that he gives you. Don't even look at him if he barks at you.
Yes.
So what we're rewarding here is a sit. We're rewarding him being quiet, and we're rewarding him not paying us attention. Okay, so his attention is to the mat, not us.
Yes. You know when he does like the little that thing, is that just a purely attention?
Yeah.
He does that a lot, and sometimes it like we shouldn't reward it, but I can't help sometimes but laugh when he does it because it is just such like he's really telling you like, come on.
Yeah. So, does he huff at you as well?
Like what? Sorry.
Like huff, like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so much personality for such a tiny dog.
I know they are pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just about working them how you want to work them rather than the other way around.
That's the thing, because I love so many elements of his personality, but it's when it becomes too naughty then. That's the thing.
Okay, so reward him for just going back down there. So he got down from your leg. So you didn't want him at your leg, but you didn't acknowledge him either, which is great. So now he's not looking at you at all. When he looks away or looks at the mat, then just drop that treat down. He's like, la la la.
He really is. Yes.
Okay, what I want you to do is start just throwing those treats a little bit more. So I want them to just be literally landing on the mat where he's not really seeing that they're coming from your hand.
Okay. So if I maybe leave my hand like this.
Yeah.
That's good.
And what we're doing here is we're being really unpredictable to him. So because he's had some mat training before, we don't want to reward him every single time, but we need to reward him enough to want him to be able to stay there.
Yeah.
And really, this is a nice little settle that he's given you. So we're going to reward him once more when he looks away.
Does he look away?
He's just moving his eyes. And then you're going to do a free with him again. So you're going to throw a treat, wait till all 4 feet are off and then say free. And let him go and get that treat and then see where he comes back to. See if he comes back to this mat again.
Free. Can I have some more treats? just give me the bag, please. Thank you.
And then he's coming back, he's sitting and settle. So just say settle and then drop a reward.
Settle.
So we want him to be sitting, we want him to be on the mat, we want him to be relaxed, and we want his lead on him. So he's doing all of those things.
Oh, she's lovely.
Oh yeah, she's here. Sorry, I didn't realise you were looking at my screen. She just came up to me as if to say, pick me up then, pick me up. Here she is.
If she ever wants a little boyfriend, Bertie Longbottom. Promise he's a good boy now.
he's probably bigger than her. How much does Bertie weigh?
Oh God.
I'd say 6 kilos now.
6 kg.
Yeah, she's 4.5.
Is she? Oh my God. The girls are so tiny in comparison to the boys. They really are.
He's very
don't forget to reward him. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so just wait a sec. Wait a sec. Don't acknowledge what he's just done there. So he's just got off there of his own accord. So we're just going to wait. We're going to wait him out and we're going to wait till he gets back on the mat. You're going to say settle and you're going to make it really, really like he's just won the lottery. So he's going to get a few treats this time when he goes back on and settles down. And what we're teaching him here is that he only gets treated when he's sitting on that mat.
He's doing his little cries at me.
Ignore him.
He knows how to work me.
Ignore him. He's likely to. It looks like he's going to jump up and try and get the treats from you now as well. So let him just figure out what he needs to do.
Everyone in the room is looking the other way.
What, from you or from Bertie?
From Bertie, we're all heads in the air.
Like la la la. Nothing to see here.
Yes, settle. I gave him 3.
That's good. That's good. Look, and then he wants to sit there again. Settle and then reward. Settle. So we're giving him the choice. So he can go to the mat and get loads of rewards, or he can choose to try and get the rewards off you and he won't get any. Okay, so you're just giving him a very clear boundary, and it's these clear boundaries that he's going to really thrive from. Okay, so we're going to do a free with him again. So wait till he's just ready and then do a free with him.
Free. Oh, I remembered I shouldn't say it till he's off. Sorry.
That's okay. And then just drop a treat onto the mat so he finds it when he comes back.
Oh, he's looking. Yeah.
That's okay. Chippy, I don't need cleaning. Thank you. He's cleaning my arm.
He was manically doing that to me yesterday, the day before. It was like really intensely cleaning me. I was like, I don't need that either. Stinky dog breath on your arm.
Okay, so I would reward him even though he's not quite on it, even though his front 2 feet are slightly off it. That's fine. Okay, so what I would like you to do is, if you put your foot, so we see where the lead is flat underneath him. So, he's going off again. Maybe just communicate a little bit with him. Bertie, where are you going? Come back here.
Bertie, come. Yes. Can I? Yes. Settle. Good boy.
And what we're doing here is we're just making him so that he's not so reliant on that treat coming to him. So there is going to be treats, but he's got to wait for them. And he's old enough to be waiting for a fair while before he gets a treat when there's nothing else going on around him.
Okay.
Okay, so drop him a treat now because he's like got his head almost glued to the floor there. Okay, so we're going to do a free with him again and then get him settled back again. So then he would have done 4 settles.
Okay. Free. Settle. Yes.
Really nice. Really nice communication from you as well there. So with the lead that he's got attached to him, so the bit that's sticking out, so where it sticks out from the mat, if you just bring that round to you and then just pop your foot on it, the bit where it's attached to him.
Oh, it's under his leg there.
So he's still got enough. So just get him back onto the mat. Is that bit under your foot now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So what I want you to do is I want you to reward him, and then Louis, if you can just go and have a wander around, and you're going to open the front door and then close the front door and come back in again.
Should I reward him? Oh.
So you're going to call him to come back to the mat?
Bertie. Yes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great first attempt.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Settle.
Can I keep distracted you? Oh, good position.
Yeah, I'd say so. Settle.
Okay.
Yes. Good boy. He's just wandering around.
Yeah, good. And what we're doing here is we're adding some distractions into him, but he can't go anywhere because you've got your foot on the end of his lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a little bit of slack on the lead. It's not like he's pinned to the floor.
Yeah.
But he's only got what? He's got maybe a metre of lead.
And so essentially, if he's looking at me now, can I still treat him because he's got distractions?
You can do, but you don't want him to have that kind of intense kind of give me the treats kind of. You can say yes, good boy, so that he knows that a treat is on its way, but he's going to have to wait a little bit for it. So I would ignore him now.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be that you just point it towards his mat and then ask him for a settle.
Settle.
Nice.
Good boy. Yes, settle.
Is Louis still wandering around?
He's just stopped.
Okay.
Should he go again?
Yeah, go again. So this time you're gonna say settle again to him. You're gonna reward him.
Mm-hmm. You can get going.
and Louis can go and open the door or wander around.
Yeah, whatever. Just wandering.
Maybe have a run up and down the stairs, Louis.
Exercising. Yes.
We'll give Louis some exercise at the same time.
Don't fall down the stairs.
And chuck him a treat before he gets off the mat. So his attention is on this mat. Okay, he can't go anywhere because he's on his lead. Mm-hmm. Just remind him where you want him.
Bertie. Yes, settle. Good boy.
Nice.
Oh.
That's okay. So just Bertie. Come on.
Bertie. 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 Bertie.
So just keep your foot on his lead. So what you're doing here is you're giving him a very clear boundary of you can't get anywhere. Drop a treat onto his mat, see if that'll encourage him back to it. And let him just find it. Here we go.
Settle. Good boy.
That's really nice.
And if he's looking at Louis as he walks past and stuff like that, can I treat him because he's not looking at me?
If you want to, you can do. So you're just dropping treats onto the mat again.
Okay.
So again, it's all about the treats are coming from the mat, not from your hands. So he doesn't become so reliant on watching where your hands are. So now he's got the opportunity. He can sniff around his mat and he can find something really good now.
I think he heard that one.
But that's fine. That's fine because it's a nice distraction that he can find that's something different as well. And what you're doing there is you're distracting him from Louis, but you're keeping him on his mat. And then he's choosing to not interact with Louis. He's choosing to not run off that mat. He could quite easily just run off the mat.
Yeah.
But he's choosing to stay there. And just communicate with him a little bit. Do you want him to sit back down?
Settle. Bertie. Bertie. He's not. Settle. Good boy. Good boy. That's really good.
So just remind him.
Bertie. Bertie. Bertie.
Drop a treat on there and then call him to it.
Bertie. Good boy. Settle. Good boy.
So you're keeping his attention this side while something else is going off near the stairs. So you are going to have thick and fast treats come in at this point because you can hear, you can probably hear Louis coming back down the stairs.
Yeah. Settle. Bertie. 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 Bertie, look. Good boy. Settle. Bertie.
Oh, okay. So just wait until he's on there.
Bertie. Look.
Okay, so we're going to give him a little less lead. Okay, so your foot's going to get a little bit closer to him.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're just going to practice that again. Where's Louis now?
Where's your...
Louis here. Okay, so Louis, if you can just kind of have a wander up the stairs again. We'll just wait until Bertie's in his settle first, so that he knows that he's getting rewards for.
Yeah, wait until he's inside. Bertie. Bertie. Settle. Don't pull it.
Let him just think what he needs to do here. Okay.
Good boy.
So when he's stepping away from it, I'd be inclined to say something like, not this time, so that he really gets the idea that if he gets off that mat, then he doesn't get rewarded.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Feet are back on.
Good. Settle.
Let's start from that.
Can you
just wait? There we go. Go now. Go now. We just wanted him to be sitting before you went out of the room. So you're gonna be nice and clear with him. Nice. Drop that treat.
Yes.
Drop another treat.
Yes.
Drop another treat.
There is really a distraction. Louise ended up ruining my monster creation. Yes. 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 Bertie. Look. Settle.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Really nice.
Settle. Good boy.
And he's not only has he got boundaries that you're teaching him here, he's also got a place. It's almost like he is stuck to that place now. So he's got very limited lead. Be clear with him. What do you want him to do? Come on, Bertie, this way. There we go.
Good.
Really nice.
Nice job, Bertie. Good boy. Oops.
Oh.
Push it along the floor. No, that's okay. Bertie, come. Good boy.
How confident are you feeling with him?
A bit more, yes.
Okay.
Yes, settle.
See, now we know that he knows it's Louis that's moving around.
Yeah. Yes.
But the idea is that we're still practicing, and he's still got a distraction of somebody moving around that ordinarily wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Is Mum in the room with you?
Yeah.
Does Mum want to have a walk around the stairs?
Do you want to go up and down?
Yeah.
Keep your foot on the lead.
Sorry?
Keep your foot on the lead.
Yeah, keep your foot on the lead, definitely.
Yeah.
And just do exactly what you've just done. So keeping him nice and calm. You stay nice and calm. Look at this.
Good. Yes. Yes. Good boy. Yes.
Really nice there, Steevie.
Here she comes now. Yes. Yes.
Reward him.
Yes. He didn't growl as she came down this time.
And I went up. Do it again.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. That's really good.
And he's settled back down again, look.
Good.
He'll be called
Yes.
on needed again.
Sorry.
He'll be called on when needed again.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to do one more treat onto his mat.
Yes. Settle.
And then we're going to take your foot off the lead, and then you're going to do a free with him.
Perfect. Free.
And then pick the mat up. Okay, and then just come in for a sec with me so we can just have a chat about what's happened there.
Yeah. Look.
Okay, how was that? More importantly, how was that for Mum?
Yeah, how was that for you? Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, she said brilliant.
It's very. We've already sort of like trained him with such definitive sort of like Joe, like kind of where he's looking, like exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
There's always been a bit of like ambiguity.
I agree.
Which makes it tougher for us to do afterwards, because then we're like, oh, like, should he be looking at us? Should he be lying down? Like, is he kind of doing it right? But I think all of that's like super clear.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need for people to be clear with us, because otherwise we don't know how to be clear with him. And
I try and make it as easy as I possibly can, because there's nothing worse than somebody telling you too complex how to do something, and then you're like, right, well, what do I do now? But is that clear on what you need to do with him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes to his mat. You are going to give him lots of treats to start with, to get him used to being there, that he's getting rewarded without you saying anything to him. He's getting rewarded for just being calm and just staying there. The reason you've got your foot on his lead is because actually you know that he's got potential to growl, and he's obviously had a snap at Mum as well, which we don't want him to be doing. We don't want to encourage that behaviour either. So,
yeah.
And with him, with your foot being on the lead, so it doesn't really matter what lead he's on, as long as he's got a ground to that lead. So the reason it's on the floor and not in your hand is because if it's in your hand, your arm will go with it. So if he tugs on that lead, your arm will go with it, and he'll get even more. He'll get your extension of your arm as well as the lead.
Yeah.
Okay. So thinking about when your brother's coming in, thinking about when your mum's in the house. So there's, sorry, Chip's fidgeting around me. There you go. So when he's in the house, and when you're in the house, and when Mum's in the house, and I would be inclined to keep a lead on him. I'd be inclined to keep either the lead that he's currently got, so the line that he's got on, or just a normal flat lead. Okay. So that at every opportunity you can just practice with him. You can practice in the morning while you're eating your breakfast. Literally get him onto his mat, give him something on the mat, and put your foot on his lead, eat your breakfast cereal, have your cup of tea, whatever it is that you have.
Yeah.
With him in that settling position. So that becomes his default. That becomes a magic place for him to be. If you're looking to move that mat around, then you will need to go back a little bit. So when we moved from you standing up with him in front of you, then when he went to the side of you, you had to go back a little bit, because he won't generalize how we do. So we know that every time that mat comes out, what we expect him to do, but he's just like, oh yeah, this is great, this is the mat. So he will start that game again because it's changed. So the game has changed for him each time the mat moves position, or your body language or your body position changes. Okay.
If we're doing this because I think it would be good for Louis to do this at his house with his dad. So would we need to use the same one? So
what I would look at having is, so we use like really thin fleece blankets. They're about 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. They're about the size of a tea towel. So if you have 2 tea towels that are similar, so like glass cleaning tea towels, so they're different textures, or something that's fleecy, or like a
sorry,
that's okay.
For a second, because he's getting a corner on the table. He's running.
Is it up to mischief? Just unclip him off it. Unclip him off it for a minute.
He's just walking around.
He's just walking around, but it's so long, and he's like, hold on a second, this is part of me.
He can't figure out who's holding him back because he's.
And the reason that I want to practice with that in the house with him is because it is a bit unnormal for him. It's not like the kind of everyday thing that you'd have trailing around with him. Okay. But while he's displaying the unwanted behavior, while he's displaying the stuff we really don't want him to be displaying, so that higher level stuff of really growling at people and really going for people, we don't want to encourage that. So we want to be able to literally minimize that as soon and as fast as we can. So the less he gets opportunity to do it, the more he will learn not to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So talking about when your brother comes on Tuesday, so between now and Tuesday, you're going to be practicing the mat everywhere you possibly can. Okay. In every room of the house, and have his lead on, have your foot on the lead. So use it when you're eating your breakfast, use it when you're having your meals, at the table, at the side of you, if you eat at the table. Have him on a mat at the side of the table, have your foot on his lead next to you, so that he can't just get up and wander around. Okay, so what you're instilling for him is quiet and calm gets rewards. I wouldn't give him the rewards at the table. I would give him something already on the mat. So I would give him a little Kong or a little lick mat, so he has something to do which isn't coming from the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want to encourage any of that. Otherwise he'll be barking every time you have a meal.
Yeah.
When your brother comes over, I would think about where your brother is going to be coming into. So if he's coming in the front door, is Bertie going to be better exactly that position that you are now? So you're on the end of that sofa with the mat in the corner there, so that brother has got no need to come over into that corner to him.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would probably, if your brother is able to, then I would get your brother to completely ignore Bertie.
Yeah.
Don't approach him and don't touch him.
That's fine. He doesn't love dogs as much as he loves cats.
That's not a bad thing. So no eye contact,
Okay.
no eye contact with Bertie, and no trying to stroke him. No going over the top or underneath. If Bertie wants to come and sniff him, then I would be very cautious. Okay. So obviously when people start moving around, I would still be inclined to keep your foot onto his lead, just so that he can't act out this behavior. If he's nice and comfortable in the corner of the room where he currently has just been doing that training, there's no reason for him to want to come out any further. If people are going into his space, then you may see that little reaction from him again.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where the TV is, so just people just look this way as opposed to, like, and above him. I could put above him as opposed to having to come over and walk over, so that should be fine. This could be like his spot now. I think that's a good point, a good plan.
Yeah. Rather than having him in the middle of the room. So if he's on, remember it's the rug that in the middle, isn't it, near the fire? If he's on that bit there, then obviously people are going to have to walk past him, and then that could upset him a bit as well. So having him tucked away, so at the dinner table, think where people are going to be walking in and walking out, and have him strategically placed.
Okay.
Yeah. You can use this when you're out and about as well. And I know you guys, I know it's your mum and your sister that take him out a lot, but at the weekends, do you take him out as well? Yeah. So you can practice this outside as well. So you can practice this on a park bench. So you can have it next to you on the bench to start with. So he can just literally have a couple of treats and watch the world go by. Anything that comes into his view, good boy, drop a treat down. Okay, so he's learning that anything that passes is a good thing, and the mat gives him something to reward him. You can then start putting it onto the floor in front of you, so sitting on the bench but having him at the side of you, ideally in a place where you know there aren't any off-lead dogs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so places like churchyards, places like potentially bus stops, bus shelters, just so that he gets an experience of different places, but it's the same thing you want him to do in every location. Okay, he just sit and he gets rewarded. Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions on the mat training?
No, I think that's good from my side. Any questions from yours?
No, it's very clear.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much.
How did you feel about going in and out of the room, Louis?
It was grand. I mean, he does well. Obviously, I don't see him when I leave Stevie's, but he does tend to
Bertie.
follow me.
Yeah, he follows, like he'll follow both of us kind of around.
Okay, and it's a good route. It's a good way to stop him doing that as well. So that he doesn't need to.
This is the latest thing, having to be up high on everything.
When he sleeps.
What are you doing?
He wants to take a nap.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, he did have. Okay, sorry.
All his training stuff work.
Okay, so that's not the blanket that he's been on, is it?
No.
No. Okay.
We have loads of them.
Okay. So have you got any questions about anything else? Have you got any other questions that you kind of burst in to ask me?
The other thing for me was kind of more separation anxiety. So like on Sunday we wanted to go out for lunch, and like in Ireland I find people aren't as like dog friendly to like have dogs in like restaurants and like pubs like they are in the UK. So we went on our own, which we're allowed to do, I guess. But we couldn't leave him here with my mom, because even though he's very loving with her, if he knows I've left and like he sees me actually leaving, he'll stand at the porch door just behind Louis and howls. And the latest thing is literally howling like a wolf, like the ears go back like Snoopy and the head right up, and it will be non-stop the whole time. He doesn't do that at Louis's house if Louis's sister is there, but she drove us to the town to take us in, and so he did do that at Louis's house, because not only was I gone, Louis was gone, but his sister was gone as well. And so I guess it's just a case of like, how can we maybe help towards the separation anxiety? Because I know for sure I'm not going back to the office until March 1st at the earliest, but I'm so worried about leaving him all day and even having a walker come in the afternoon.
Okay, so the mat training you've just done there is going to be really, really helpful for you. So I know you mentioned that you're struggling to kind of walk around the house. Normally he's following you around. So that's the first thing we need to look at addressing. So we need to look at giving him a place to be. Sorry, just going back very slightly, the ways to keep him on his mat for longer are to either delay the time in between the rewards that you're physically giving, or give him something longer lasting. So give him something like a Kong, lick mat, a frozen Kong, a frozen lick mat, so that it keeps him there a bit longer, so that it's something that he's really interested in. In terms of the mat training, that's going to be really helpful for the separation side. So he may well not have realized that he's got independence, that he can spend time away from you, and actually he has, and he can do it. And what I would do is, rather than having him snuggled up to you every night, I would look to have him on that mat. So there's a little bit, you've just created a little bit of space. Okay. A bit like in your bed. So he was obviously in your bed last time we spoke, and he was being a pain in the bum for you. And you've created that little bit. You've created, he's now in his own bed. So you're just doing little bits, but over time, rather than saying, right, see you later, we're off now, bye. And he's like, oh, my whole world's falling apart, I can't cope without you. Like really nice and gradually. So just little bits throughout your day. So think where, when he comes and snuggles up to you, does he need to be doing that, or can he be on a mat or a bed in front of you, at the side of you, a little bit away from you?
I must admit, he does oh goodness me, don't tightrope walk. He does actually, if we have a fire on, he will lay in front of that fire. And then maybe after an hour or so, depends how good mom has made the fire, essentially, he will come and then snuggle up with me, and then he'll get a bit uncomfortable or a bit cold and he'll want to go back. And he kind of does, like, he'll spend like an hour over there, maybe like 15-20 minutes with me, and then maybe back over there for half an hour. Is that okay?
So who's making that decision for him to come up?
He is.
So you make the decision when he can come up.
Okay, and how do you do that then?
Okay, so if he's coming up to you and he wants to get up, just say, no, not now. Not now. And just don't let him get up.
And don't let him get up?
Yeah.
Okay, and then just keep saying down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that he gets the message, so that he's like, oh, right, okay, I'll go and lay back in front of the fire, or I'll go and lay on my mat, or, you know, wherever he can go and lay, then give him options, but not too many options. So when we talk about giving them options, it's about what would you rather him do? So if he's just coming to you to get attention all the time and he gets it, so it's a bit like turning the tap on, you know, that water's going to come out of it. Yeah. So we're now in control of that tap. So we're in control and saying, right, that's okay. You can come to me for a cuddle. I really love your cuddles. That's absolutely fine. I really like you snuggling next to me on the sofa, but I want that on my terms. Okay. So when you want a cuddle, ask him to come over. So when he is laying nice and when he's fast asleep on the floor, Bertie, come on, and then call him up onto the sofa.
Yes.
I've tried that before, actually, and he just kind of like looks at me and he goes back down again.
But you've given him that option.
The option, yeah.
Yeah, rather than him just making that decision all the time that I'm going to go for a cuddle with mum now, and off he goes, or I'm going to go and have a cuddle with dad now, and off he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For separation anxiety, what I was doing, because obviously, like, when I see him during the week, it's not the same as like we would for Stevie, sort of like settling like that. But I've just been like playing with him for a bit and then leaving the toy with him and then giving him like a couple of minutes in the room with the door closed and then going back to him. And he doesn't really seem to mind. I don't know, maybe he's not as keen on me as he is Stevie. But he kind of like sometimes he's looking at the door when I come back in. Or once twice at the door, but like he seems to be okay. Do you think that's like worthwhile doing? Should I keep doing it?
Yeah. So I would look at what games you're playing with him. So the idea is that obviously when you do go out and leave him, you're going to want to leave him in a settled state so that he is able to go to sleep. Yeah. So if he's had his walk, when he comes back from his walk, have some interaction with him. So have 5-10 minutes interaction with him, and then give him something to do. So a Kong, a lick mat, something that's going to really induce calmness for him. So we're looking for a calm dog is a content dog. Not a crazy dog is an uncontent dog. Yeah. Okay. So separation is a big thing to kind of overcome. I would start with the very basics though. I would start with just having him away from you, just having, not every single time, you know, I'm not going to say don't cuddle him, don't snuggle him or anything like that, because that's not going to happen. It's a taxi. Yeah. But try and make it on your terms rather than his terms, so that he's like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, you're still there, and I'll go and lay back down, and that's fine, because you're just giving him clear boundaries again. You're giving him clear indications of what you do want and what you're not so keen on. Okay. In terms of leaving him with a toy, I don't have a problem with that, but think about what toy it is, and if that's encouraging his energy up or whether it's reducing that energy down. So we're looking all the time to keep that energy nice and down. Yeah. So I don't know what toy it is that you're leaving him with, but that can work. And that's the reason that I say like Kongs and lick mats. So we don't necessarily want them to be reliant on them, but if they're a way to actually reduce their excitement level down, so a little bit like the scatter feeding, so chucking the food on the floor, that 10 minutes is worth an hour's walk. So you're really bringing them down, you're really compressing. There's actually, did we go through this last time? The triangle.
I'm not sure.
It's the stress triangle. So it basically,
no, we didn't.
Stress that goes in. So if you think about stress going in, so it could be good stress, it could be bad stress. So eating could be a stress, but it's a good stress. So it puts the body under some element of stress, so in a good way. excitement. It's good for him, he enjoys it, but it's a good stress, but it could also lead into bad stress. Okay, so in the triangle here, so the bottom two parts, so the bottom part here, you've got pretty much asleep or settling or how he currently is now. Okay, so he's nice and chilled out, he's not doing anything, he's not bothered about anything. The second part here is when he's a little bit more alert. So when he was on the mat and he was kind of like looking around to see where Louis had gone, that would be kind of level 2. Level 3, so level 2 into 3, that's where he's completely can't listen to you. His ears have turned off, he's potentially barking, he might even be growling, lunging. He's in that danger zone of he just cannot listen to you. It's physically impossible for him to listen or take an instruction from you. Okay. So we're looking at all the training that we're doing is to keep him around this level and lower level of this middle one. Okay. So good stress and bad stress, and think about, so good stress, eating food in the morning, going out on a walk, in fact, eating food, getting the lead out, opening the front door, going on a walk, seeing a dog, seeing a person. They may all be really good things for him, but then he sees too many dogs and too many people, and each time is raising up. Okay, so each time is heading up into this top bit where he's unable to then cope. Then we have the bad stress. So it may be that he sees 3 dogs and he's fine, but then that 4th dog tips him over. Yeah, and that's where he's in that red zone. So bringing him back down. So the idea behind bringing him back in after a walk is that he has time to actually come back down. So if he's hit around that point there, where he's still just about able to listen to you, you're able to get him away from the situation without him completely losing his mind, you can then bring him down. So 10 minutes of play with you in the house. So like Lou was saying, playing with the ball, he seems to be fine with that. Sorry, playing with his toy, seems to be fine with that. And you're just adding an extra layer onto it to really calm him. So adding the scatter feeding, adding the con, adding the lick mat, whatever it is that he enjoys, but just to really decompress him down a little bit, just so that he's able and he's in that position to be able to be left. Okay. I wouldn't necessarily look at just leaving him for a certain amount of time. I don't really think that works. I think the extending the gap in between you works a lot better. So it's independence. So you're creating independence. You're creating him going and doing something over there while you're over here. He can still see you. And what he learns is that, oh, it's okay, they're just doing their thing, but I'm doing something over here. Okay, rather than the door shuts, everyone's gone, the house is completely empty, and then he runs around trying to find everyone, going, where is everyone? Or stands at the door howling. Yeah. It does take time. Separation isn't something that can just be changed, because it's about how he feels about being left. But what I would say is that I wouldn't be overly concerned about the level of anxiety that he may be experiencing because of how well he's done with his crate training. Okay, so that should give you some peace of mind at least. Yeah, does that all make sense? Does that all make sense?
Yeah. No, it definitely does. I think he's a good actor. And if he thinks he's an opportunist, like we all are, if he thinks there's the chance if he cries for a minute that he'll get some attention, then he will, as you saw with the little barks as well. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that from just kind of what you've seen so far, you don't think it's going to hopefully be a huge problem. And yeah, I mean, the fact that he's able to sleep in his crate with minimal crying and he's not kind of barking the house down all night is just such a big step. The moment I hear his bell go in the night, though, I'm like, don't move.
Pretend to
he
be
knows
asleep.
when I'm awake as well. Like, he knows I can hear, like, if I toss him down too much, I can hear him, and he's kind of like, I can hear the bell going, and I'm like, oh no. Just keep completely still. But he'll get better with that over time.
Yeah, and he's already, he's made huge steps since last time we spoke. Absolutely huge steps. And to have the 2 people that I was speaking to last time were like, oh, he does this and he gets in the bed, and you were literally like, he's in the bed with us all the time. So yeah, going back to the bed, right back to the beginning of the conversation, I would minimize his interaction in your bed just until he's really settled, because you'll find, are you going back to London?
Yes.
Yeah, when you go back to London, that's when you may have some issues with him. So because everything's changed, the house has changed, but keeping his bed exactly the same and have him exactly the same place, and then you can start moving them out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think like the first thing for well, I was like thinking, oh, we'll get him down here and then hopefully I can go up. And then it was kind of going on. I thought, well, no, let's just try him in his crate in my room so I can actually sleep in the bed. And then yeah, the main thing is getting him to sleep there. And then once we get back to London, as you say, we can then move him out. It's actually not as far to move him from like the bedroom to the living room there. It's all like one floor and we live in quite a small apartment, whereas like here it's a whole stairs as well, and much bigger space. So yeah, I think it's a good idea for now. So he is changed in a lot of ways, and even like, you know, the fact that he is like, he'll go and lay in like your family's laps, and even though he did, you know, have that incident with my mom last week, all week he's been laying with her very happily again. So, you know, he's come on a lot in that sense as well. So I am very proud of him. He's a smart sausage.
And you're doing a great job, honestly. Like, your communication with him is great. His focus on you seems a lot more than it was last time we spoke. He seems like he's more interested in you, you know, albeit he's having like the odd little groan and grumble at you. But I would definitely look to like ignore that behavior. So if we teach him
time when that was just like incessant barking, like if there's a treat, if you knew there's a treat in your hand and he wanted it, he would just bark nonstop. So I mean, seeing him just sit down and just sort of wait for it is it's pretty revolutionary.
It is. Saves our ears.
Saves your ears, definitely, and mine. Okay, so have a think about like where you're going to put the mat. Have a think about where like how you want to set him up. I would look at keeping that lead on though, just as a safety point. You may you know, kind of worst case scenario, you know that he kind of likes to have a nibble. If you wanted to go down the route of a muzzle, then you could do as an extra safety. It's really your call. It's always a difficult one. Often owners look at me and go, really, a Daxi and a muzzle? But it often works in a way that A, it's a safety measure, but B, people don't want to touch your dog if they're wearing a muzzle. So they give you space. So there's kind of twofold to that. If you did want to go down that route, you'd be looking at something like that. Okay, so a basket one. So they're called Baskervilles. It's tiny. It is tiny. But if you did want to go down that route, so it would always be something like that rather than a material one. Okay.
I think it's something that we can consider down the line. I think I want to still give him the option, and for now, you know, I just put those measures in play. Not the option rather, but like give him the opportunity to, you know, try and redeem himself in some way and learn a better way of doing things. I think he gets stressed as well. And it could be a case that he's somewhat guarding me or anything.
Do you know what you bathed him that evening?
I had given him a bath that evening.
And he wasn't very happy about it.
He doesn't love a bath. He hadn't had one in 2 months, so it was needed.
Okay.
Stinky. But I don't know if that maybe has a part to play in it.
I mean, there could potentially be hundreds of different contributing factors to why he's done that. And the very simple answer is I don't know why he's done that. Okay. He may have just woken up, and the old saying of let sleeping dogs lie. He may have woken up. He might have thought you'd woken him up. That's why he's come over to tell you off for waking him up. He may have, you know, he might have got a little cramp in his leg or something. There might have been some, do you know what I mean? There might have been some wind. He's got tummy ache, something like that. He gets a little bit of pain. He sees you. That's why he's gone for you. There can be all kinds of things that go off with them that sometimes are just unable to be explained. But the training that we've just done is to prevent. Okay. So we're not going to stop that kind of behavior, but we can certainly prevent it happening again, which in turn then teaches him to do the right thing rather than what we don't want him to do.
Okay.
Okay, right. Well, what I'll do is, do you want me to send you the recording again?
Yes, please. That'll be really good.
And I'll send you over a document. There's about 25 steps on it, and it's using the mat and then getting away from the mat as well. So thinking about when you're doing your separation with him, you can use it for the crate as well. And when he's on the mat, you then start to take a step away. So it's just changing your body language with him. So think about when you want to actually go out of the house, and it's really kind of independence training at a very base level. So he's on the mat, you ask him to settle, you take a step away, you come back, he gets the reward.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can just sit up, stand up and sit down and stuff like that, just so that he's staying in the same place, so he's not just following you at every single point that you move.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll get that over to you. Let me just write down. So, and separation is called Magic Mat for the reason that obviously we use the mat, but you can use a crate, you can use his bed, you can use whatever you want to. I would always look to use something similar. And in terms of you mentioned, should we be using the same mat? Doesn't need to go from house to house, just use something that's similar, but as long as he's got used to it, so that is his mat, rather than just getting a new one out every time.
Okay.
Any last questions before I go?
I think that's good from my side. No, it's been helpful.
Okay, good stuff. What I'll do is, you've got the link, haven't you? So I'll drop the link in again for you to book in for your next session.
Yeah.
And that is it. So have a lovely Christmas, and
You too.
don't eat too much turkey. I will
I
see
hate
you.
turkey, so Bertie's having mine. But yeah, have a lovely Christmas. I think. Thank you very much for your help so far. Definitely seeing an improvement. So hopefully we'll have the best sausage in the new year.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys want to, I know we've only had a couple of sessions, but if you guys are up for leaving us a Google review, that would be great. Just to say how you're getting on so far. And then we can see you in the new year with a new calm sausage. If you have any issues in the meantime, give me a shout. I'm on the end of email throughout Christmas, so or Christmas Day and Boxing Day. The rest of it I'll still be accessible.
We'll leave you those days, don't worry. Thank you very much.
No worries, not a problem. Take care. Enjoy your Christmases. Bye.
Bye. Bye.